Hey guys, I feel weird today. I don't typically wear lipsticks, especially this color, and then I tried to do something cute with my hair. Didn't work out. We don't need to talk about it. It looks fine from the front. Anyway, today I'm coming at you with the reading survey thing. I know that Kayla from Books and Lala does this. I've seen a few other people, Elias and Maddie and a whole bunch of other people do it, so I've seen this go around, so I thought I would do it myself. I have a lot of end of year book videos planned that I really want to get done. It's kind of overwhelming, but I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be excited for it all. But because of all these videos that I have ideas for, one of them I kind of am taking from G from the Book and Roast channel, and she does these like bookish awards where she like says like this is the category, like best in fantasy, best romance she read, and I kind of want to do something similar to that, but I'm also taking the same questions in this long gigantic list of questions that is on this blog from Perpetual Page Turner. So I kind of cherry picked my questions for this survey so that I wouldn't have like duplicating stuff all over. So yes, all of that will of course be linked down below, but I guess we'll just get into it. I'm excited. So the first question is, how many books did you read? I read 75 books. I met my goal on the very last day. Almost didn't make it. Very easily could have not made it because December wasn't my best reading month, but whew, I made it. I'm so proud of myself. I've never read so many books in my life, and I hope to just increase that little by little every year. The next question is the number of rereads that you read. Just one reread, which was The Nutcracker, because my boyfriend and I read that every year together, and it's one of our traditions. I used to go see the Nutcracker ballet as a kid every year, so it's just part of my life. I collect nutcrackers a lot. We don't need to talk about it. The next question is a book that you were really excited for but kind of disappointed you. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I'm sorry. I know. It's not good. It's so info dumpy at the beginning. Like the first half of the book is just like info dump. No plot, no character, just world building, but it doesn't make sense and it doesn't matter. And I would rather just like be with the characters, getting to know them, falling in love with them as they're like going through the world and explaining it to me that way rather than just telling. That's a big personal pet peeve of mine. I know this is such a beloved series and I was really hoping to like it. As an Aquarius, I get recommended it a lot on social media and it just didn't work for me. Not good. Loved the character Lila. She was cool. But that was kind of it. Sorry. Next question. The book that you made, like you pushed the most people to read. Technically no one read anything, but I did send a book to my friend hoping that she'll read it so we can discuss it because I really enjoyed it, and that was The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. I love this book. I had so much fun with this book. It was fantastic. You'll hear me talk about it a lot, I'm sure. The next question is the best series that I started. I really, oh, hi. Oh, please. Hello. Goodbye. I'll come let you in. 1 second. Sorry, I had to let my cat inside. I think the one that I was on was the best series that I started, and for this I'm going with Lobizona by Romina Garber. Fantastic. So good. This is following Manuela, who is secretly a lobizona and doesn't know it, but also is undocumented in the United States with her mother and is hiding from ISIS a lot, and eventually not good stuff happens and she has to run away and gets kind of pulled to this location in the woods, which no one else can really access or see. It's very Hogwarts-esque, very magical, mystical, fun. And yeah, she finds out slowly over time that she is a lobizona, and it's just good. The cast of characters is really fun and entertaining. It's got a lot of plot, a lot of character. It was very good, and I'm so excited to get to the sequel later in 2022. It was a fun experience. I listened to the audiobook and it was really good. I like the mix of Spanish and English in the text, even though my Spanish is a little rusty. I did read Cemetery Boys recently and I understood a lot more of it, so I'm getting better with Spanish and I'm proud of that. Alright, the next question is favorite new author. So many. Because this is my first like serious year of reading, I fell in love with so many authors. TJ Klune, Erin A. Craig, S.T. Gibson, ML Rio. I'm waiting for her next book, please. Any words, something. There's just so many fantastic authors that I read. Anyone that I gave like a 5-star to basically was good in my book. The next question is the best book in a genre you don't typically read, and for that I honored One Last Stop to Casey McQuiston by Casey McQuiston. And yeah, so this is a romance with a hint of sci-fi, which I really enjoyed because I'm not a super big romance person. The subway scene when they're kind of getting steamy, for someone who doesn't read romance, it's kind of a lot, but I really enjoyed this. I loved the twist of this girl in the subway, Jane, who was displaced from the 70s in August, who's moved to New York to kind of get away from her mom and start school, and this wonderful cast of roommates and people in her apartment building and trying to crack this case and like free Jane in a way. It was very delightful. I had a really fun time reading this. It was good. I understand the hype. Yeah. For a romance with a hint of sci-fi, I'd say that it was a good romance overall. The next question is the most unputdownable book you've read in 2021. The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starley. I stayed up until like 3 in the morning every time I read this book, just because I was so enthralled with the characters and the spookiness of it. Like I kind of like gave me like, oh, what's gonna happen? I'm kind of like scared and worried, but I'm also so intrigued and I just want to know what's gonna keep happening, and I just kept reading it. I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to put it down. It was fantastic for that reason. Like, it sparked that love for reading in me again, like why I love reading so much, because I just didn't want to stop. It's all I wanted to do. The next question is the book that you're most likely to reread. For this, I already have plans. I really want to get to The Dead in the Dark. I don't remember who this is by, but I will of course have it on screen. Wonderful, fantastic, spooky ghost book where we're following a girl and her 2 dads, and they move back to Oregon so that they can premiere the next season of their show, I guess, which is like a spooky ghost hunting show, which I used to love. I used to eat that shit up growing up. So fantastic. And so reading it in a book was just great. I had so much fun. There's a little sapphic romance. It's a very small town. It is in Oregon. I'm in Oregon. I think I'm just biased to something set in Oregon, but I had such a good time listening to this audiobook. I breezed through it so fast. I was so in love, and I really want to read a physical copy, hopefully this year in October again. The next question is a book you can't believe you waited this long to read, and for that, a book that I have a copy of, The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Of course, like I knew this, I've always known it was a book, but like not really. Like, I've seen this movie so many times. I own it, I love it. It's just like, everything. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and this became one of my favorite books because it is so close to the movie. Like, I could picture the movie scene by scene whilst reading this. It was just enjoyable, kind of gave you more depth. The writing was really nice. I loved it. It was beautiful. This has such a special place in my heart, and I'm so glad that I finally got to read it, and I hope to continue reading it. I would love to annotate this. So good. So good. For the next question, it's kind of like 2 in 1. First being, what was your favorite romantic pairing, if you will? Your favorite couple, your OTP? Because I don't read a lot of romance, and I did not read nearly as much fantasy with romance as I was hoping to, I'm gonna have to go with House of Salt and Sorrow, Annalee and Cassius. I really enjoyed that. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone. I don't think everyone will love it, but I really enjoyed them. I liked that it wasn't the main focus of the story, but I liked Cassius' character a lot, and I liked Annalee, and they just work. It was good. It was nice. It wasn't too much. It was not like smutty or anything. It was just pleasant to have some hope and happiness in such a dark book. And then the next part of this is your favorite like non-romantic duo pairing friendships. And I have 2 for this, one being Anne of Green Gables. I can't remember the friend's name, but their relationship is just so sweet and so cute because they just romanticize life together and their future and being friends forever. Anne is a dramatic gal, and she definitely shows that through her friendship, but she cherishes this friendship so much to the point of like death is worse than losing her friend at times. My other favorite like friendship in a book was Elatsaway. Her and her best friend, non-romantic, was amazing, even though there was like maybe something there. It was just so good. I loved Elatsaway to begin with, and just having like that best friend companion along the ride for everything, just, it was good. He's supportive, and I like that. He's a good man. The next question is the best book that you read due to peer pressure. House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune was like everybody's favorite book in 2020, and so I'm really glad that I got to it thanks to the Buzzword Reading Challenge, where house was the word, and I got to pick this up audibly, and so I picked up a physical copy that I've yet to read. Super excited to. So yes, this is probably like the best. If not this, I would say If We Were Villains, just because everyone loves that, and rightfully so. Like, it deserves so much hype. Okay, this next one is a book that was fun to read and made you smile. Now, a lot of books could fit into this, like The House in Cerulean Sea, for example, but I took this more with like the had fun with, because the second thriller that I read this year, like second thriller ever read, was Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson. Now listen. I think I'm in the minority of like really enjoying it, but again, it was my second ever thriller, so my perception of like a good thriller is very off, but I loved the twist, I loved the ending, I loved this like sort of locked room yikes of a mess happening because this fiance cheats on her like at her bridal shower and then gets married to this man, and it just is a nightmare. Her honeymoon is a nightmare. But I really enjoyed it, and it was just so bizarre and weird at times, and just like so out there, that I just loved it. Like, it just was fun to read. It gave me enjoyment, even though like not in a like a I wish this would happen to me, like this is a dream. No, nightmare. Don't want to do it. But it was really fun to read and go on this like weird adventure. That's all I can say about it. The next one, a book that crushed your soul. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Why? The ending didn't have to happen. The build-up the leading to this point did not need to happen. I would have been completely content if it was any other way, but it hurt. It hurt me so bad, and I'm so excited to reread this book and feel that pain again. Oh, ouch. That book is ouch. And the final question is a book that lived up to the hype and a book that didn't. For the book that lived up to the hype, I think I'm gonna go with The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Again, everyone loved this for a long time. I'm starting to see more mixed reviews, more dislike for this, which is fine. But I really enjoyed this. I really liked what it had to say and the conversations it had. Of course, it's a little cheesy, and if you're not in the place to hear this like kind of advice, it's not really going to mean so much to you, but I needed to hear it. No, this did not cure my depression, but it did put life into perspective for me at times and make me remember, like, yeah, life is good, life's fun. And I didn't even like Nora. I think that's her name. Yeah, and I didn't like her. I didn't care about her lives, but I really enjoyed the premise and what this kind of gave to me. And to end on a bad note, sorry, a book that didn't live up to the hype, Nothing But Blackened Teeth by Cassandra Khaw. This book was fine, but I just couldn't get into like the high school drama that this friend group had for no apparent reason, and it just was so short that I don't think it lived to its full potential, as well as it's just not scary enough. When I want horror, like, I'm ready to be scared. I want to be terrified. I want to shake in my boots, and that just doesn't happen, and I wish that it would. But I loved the concept and the premise, and everyone was reading this when it first came out. Like, it was all over, and it just kind of flopped, which was a bummer. But I loved the concept, and so I can imagine what this book could have been. And I think that's why it hurts so bad, because I could see the potential. So yeah, I'm sorry to end this on such a bad note. I should have swapped that, my bad. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had a good time. Let me know what some of your favorite books, or most disappointing books maybe, were for this year. I would love to know, love to chat. Let's hang out a little bit more, and I hope to see you guys all very soon. Bye!